And when I became a Christian, and I received Jesus Christ into my heart as my personal Savior and Lord, I witnessed to those two girls, and they prayed with me to receive Christ, and they no longer hung around the party crowd. They were coming with me to Bible study in church. My friends were not very happy. Oh, well. You don't have to wait, friends, till you get to second base, third base. You know. It helps to know some scriptures. It helps. But share it. Go on your experience with God. Hey, listen. You want to argue with me, and you want to debate with me about the Bible, it isn't reliable. You want to argue with me and debate with me about the existence of God, okay. But here's one thing you can't argue with me about, and you can't debate with me about, and that is what God has done in my life. And how He has manifested and revealed Himself to me personally in my life in ways that are too precise just to be an accident or a coincidence. I can keep you here all day and tell you story after story after story after story on how God has revealed Himself to me and what He's done for me in my life. You can't argue with that. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you shared your faith with someone and shared with someone what God has done in your life and what Jesus means to you? When was the last time that you did that? And you might say, well, I don't have opportunity. Here's one thing, my dad taught me a lot of things. Here's one thing in particular my dad taught me. My father, he created his own opportunities. When you read the book of Acts, one of the things that you will notice about the believers of the first century church, there was a boldness, a spiritual boldness that they had. They didn't think, well, you know, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to turn anybody off. There was a boldness, friends, in that first century church. I want to encourage you, create your own opportunities to witness people about Jesus. Wouldn't it be a terrible thought to one day, let's say with your family or your friends, to one day stand before God, and they're standing before God, and God says, your name is not found written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And they would look to you and say, why didn't you tell me? You had the answer. You had the solution. But you never shared with me. Why? So, this is first base. Your salvation experience, getting baptized in water, being a witness for Jesus Christ. That is so very important. I'll be closing in just a minute. Think about the things that we're passionate about. And all I mean by that is think about the things that we're really excited about. Think about the things that we love and we're really excited about. What do? We talk about them, don't we? Whether it's sports, the Steelers. We have any Browns fans in here? Joe's at home. Don, you're a closet Browns fan, aren't you? Not a closet, he says. All right. Whether it's sports or cooking or food, hunting, fishing, gardening, I can go on and on and on. The things that we're passionate about, we talk about these things. Here's what I can't understand. If we say that we're passionate about God, why don't we talk about Him more? Are you hearing me? I said, if we are passionate about God, why don't we talk about Him more? And not just with one another, the people that really need to hear it. Friends, we hold the answer in our heart, in our hands. Do we really believe there's a heaven and a hell? A place of reward for those who believe and a place of punishment for those who have rejected Christ. And you and told you the story a while back about General William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army. God gave him a vision one day. He was riding in his coach, and he pulled back the curtain, and God gave him a vision. And he saw this mountain, and there was like a deck going around that mountain, and the waters were raging, and the sky was dark, and there was flashes of lightning. And he saw people in the water that were drowning. And as he looked on the deck, there were people sitting at tables and sipping tea. And some were playing shuffleboard. And some were asleep. And then there were some who were diving off the deck into the waters to rescue some. Some were throwing lifelines. What do they call those things? Life preservers. Some were risking their own lives, diving into the water. Some were going out in little boats to try and rescue some. And God gave him a vision, friends, of what it really is for those who are perishing. And the title, when Keith Green, many years ago, he wrote a track, it was called Who Cares? And Keith Green shared that vision. Do you remember that track, Pastor Dave, Who Cares, by Keith Green? Many years ago. Who cares? Do you care, dear friends? Do you care? 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 We hold the answer in our hearts. You can tell when someone is really, genuinely saved and you really got what Jesus wanted you to get when you prayed that salvation prayer, when you can't keep it to yourself. You want to be shared with others. And friends, that's not second base, that's not third base, that is first base stuff. Amen. All right, let's all stand and we'll